Lord Kudus, to the Director General of the Lagos State Records and Archives Bureau, Ms. Toyin Ogunlana. A round of applause for her, please. Please, let's celebrate her. Because what she has done is not just for today, it's for yesterday, it's for today, and for tomorrow. Let's give her a louder round of applause, please.
Would also like to welcome Head of Ministerial Agencies here present. We say thank you for coming. And we also like to welcome the Lasrap family. The Lasrap family, can we wave our hands? Thank you very much.
Let them know wave. Let their palms go red. Give yourselves a round of applause. If that's all you deserve, if you think you deserve more, take it. Can one of you write the names of noisemakers, please? Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, permit me to welcome a son with a sound mind, former governor of the Center of Excellence and State of Aquatic Splendor, former minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, one of Nigeria's brightest legal minds, Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. It's today I confirmed what people have been saying. Mr. Fashola and I look alike. I'd like to welcome, ladies and gentlemen, most distinguished Senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the youngest 70-year-old in our dear state, Senator Benga Bariu Ashafa. Can I have a round of applause for him, please? Mr. Deputy Governor, sir, with your kind permission, Mr. Deputy Governor, sir, with your kind permission, shall we please rise for the national anthem of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? We'll take only the first stanza.
Thank you very much, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Ìgbéga ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó.
Àjùmọ̀ṣe gbogbo wa ni.
Good morning, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Today we gather with a purpose, and a powerful purpose at that, to reflect on our past so we can better shape our future. When we think of Lagos, a common thought that crosses the mind is that Lagos is an economic powerhouse. If Lagos were a country, it would be the 5th largest GDP in Africa. But Lagos is much more than economic strength. It is a city rich in history and culture, dating back as far as the 17th century. A history that we must cherish, pass on to the next generation, because as the British author and writer says, if you do not know where you're coming from, then you do not know where you are. If you do not know where you are, then you do not know where you're going. And if you do not know where you're going, you're probably going wrong. Today's gathering is not just important. It is existential, because knowing our history gives us direction. Neil Postman says, and I quote, "Children are the living messages we send to the future we cannot see." So, ladies and gentlemen, we're here to celebrate the unveiling of the Lagos State Records and Archives Bureau's incredible efforts, bringing our history to life through an exciting puzzle book designed to capture the imagination of our youth. We believe that through this, our history will be written in their minds and hearts, because you are what you read. Ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies, let us embrace this moment, honor our past, and inspire our future. I bid you welcome to the future hinged on the past. I bid you welcome to the public presentation of Discover Lagos State, a history puzzle book. Please, let's give LASRAB a resounding round of applause. We've done recognitions, but ladies and gentlemen, permit me to officially welcome the Mr. Governor of the Center of Excellence and State of Aquatic Splendor, the one we call Mr. Immortal Rice Mill, Mr. Lekki Deep Port, Mr. Green, Blue, and Red Rail, the incident commander himself, and of course, Mr. Celebrable, Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu. He is ably represented by his brother and friend, his partner in the Themes Plus agenda, a man of great humane cordiality, Dr. Obafemi Kadri Amzat, Deputy Governor of the Center of Excellence and State of Aquatic Splendor. Permit me, ladies and gentlemen, to welcome a man that is the true definition of Okunrimeta, because at a point in the history of our nation, he was the 3-in-1 minister. But before then, he has served us meritoriously as governor of our dear state. He promised us a brighter, rewarding future and delivered in capital letters. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please let's welcome Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola, former governor of Lagos State, former minister of our dear country. Permit me to welcome our father, the Oba of Lagos, Alailua Obariluwanu Babatunde Oshuolale Aremu Akiolu I, Commander of the Federal Republic, the Oba of Lagos, and permanent chairman of the Council of Obas and Chiefs in Lagos State. I'd like to welcome the White Cap Chiefs who are representing him. As you've come here, God will go everywhere with you. The White Cap Chiefs are led by the Oloruguide of Lagos, Chief Ismail Oladende Folaji.
Would also like to recognize the...
Sorry, my brother. Let me welcome Kabiesi, the Alara of Ilara Kingdom, Ekpe, Oba Folarin Ogusowo, who is represented by I Chief Balogun Adeoye Aziz. You are most welcome.
Would also like to recognize the Honorable Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Mr. Gbenga Omotosho, and members of the State Executive Council this morning.
Let me welcome our friends from the diplomatic community. It is very heartwarming that when we have things to do in Lagos, we see them in large numbers. This is a testament to the fact that we are not just a state, we're a superpower, so to say. So if you are proud to be Lagosian, give yourself a round of applause. From Burkina Faso, the Consul General, His Excellency Ayoba Solimpo Jean-Hugh. A round of applause for him, please. Bienvenue. I'd like to welcome from the People's Republic of China, their Consul General, His Excellency Yang Yuping. Xinxin. I'd like to welcome from Brazil, our brother, His Excellency Manuel Inocencio de la Sada Santos Jr. A round of applause for him. We love Brazil, but when we meet you again, we beat you again on the field of play. I'd like to welcome from India, His Excellency Chandramouli Kekan, the Consul General of India. Namaste.
And would also like to recognize all body of permanent secretaries here present. And would also like to recognize the committee member representing Lagos State in the National Population Commission, Barrister Olayinka Oladunjoye. Thank you very much, Ma.
Not forgetting members of the State ESCO, thank you very much for coming. Okay, let's welcome our big brother, most distinguished Senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Gbenga Bariu Ashafa. A round of applause for him, please. Now, let me welcome particularly one woman that has worked tirelessly and assiduously to make today possible. What she kept telling me when she called is legacy, legacy, legacy. And what better legacy to leave than in a book form for generations yet unborn to have in their hands and in their minds. Let me welcome the Director General of the Lagos State Records and Archives Bureau, Ms. Toyin Ogunlana.
Would also like to recognize the head of ministerial agencies here present, the Lastrap family, the students, and our well-wishers. Welcome to today's event.
I want to welcome Akinshiku Olorieyo, as well as the Adodo, Olorogun Adodo of Lagos, Chief Dosumu. Can I have, I don't know if you can clap or if you just, what do we do? Because where I come from, if you clap for Kabiyesi, you get beheaded. The head will have gone a long time ago. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellency, we'll continue with more recognitions as the day progresses. But what have we come to do? We've come, ladies and gentlemen, to establish that we have a past, we have a present, and that we cannot have a future unless we entrench this in the minds of our young people. This is why I'd like all our students who are here to please rise as we give them a round of applause for coming this morning. Thank you. The future of our country is practically in your hands now, and we know you will treat it well. God bless you. Thank you very much for coming. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome us properly, the Honorable Commissioner, Ministry of Information and Strategy, Mr. Oluwagbemiga Jotalo, Otaibayomi Oluwa Obani Oje, or Motosho. A round of applause for him, please.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Gbenga Adeyinka, for that effusive introduction. But I'm not going to read out a long protocol list because you've already established that, and I thank you for it. My job is very simple: to welcome you to this unique occasion. Unique in the sense that it is for us a matter of pride that at this particular time in the history of Nigeria, we have an opportunity to contribute to all the debates about Lagos, its past, its present, and its future. Today's event is a significant milestone in our efforts to preserve our rich history and cultural heritage, our values, and historical evolution of Lagos State in a dynamic, engaging, and modern format. The puzzle book that you are about to see is not just a publication. It is a creative and educational tool that bridges the past with the present and prepares our young people for the future that all of us are always talking about. Today, there are so many distractions, especially in the digital space. Every time people gather to discuss very serious issues, only can you find 70% of the people concentrating. They are either looking at the phone, trying to reply an email, or a message on WhatsApp. So for us in Lagos, we'll be thinking creatively about how to make people realize that time is precious and that our history, we must be able to let our young people know about it and to own it and to be able to talk about it in a very good manner that we make our fathers and our forefathers, wherever they may be today, very proud of us. So we have presented this apostle book as an innovative way to ignite their curiosity and connect them to our historical narratives in an interactive and intellectually stimulating manner. I'm confident that this publication will become an invaluable resource for schools, libraries, families, and institutions that are passionate about history. I commend the management of LASRAB, Lagos State Records and Archives Bureau, for these forward-thinking projects. I also thank Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, our amiable governor, for his continued commitment to education, innovation, not just an end in itself, but innovation and education as a means to empowering our young people to know what is right and what is wrong, and to be able to stand by the beliefs that all of us are sure will make Nigeria a better place. I thank you all for being part of this occasion. May this launch, presentation of this book, be the beginning of greater things to come in our collective journey to document, preserve, and celebrate the Lagos story. I thank you, and God bless you all.
On that note, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite to the stage one of Nigeria's brightest legal minds, Commander of the Order of the Niger, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, former governor of our state, former Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, a man of great humane cordiality, Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola. Please let's make it louder. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain.
Your Excellency, the Governor of Lagos State, represented by His Excellency, the Deputy Governor, members of the State Executive Council, Your Royal Majesties, my brother, the newly minted 7th floor occupier, distinguished Senator Ashafa, ladies and gentlemen, honestly, this is a moment of homecoming for me to stand before you as special guest of honor and keynote speaker at the presentation of Discover Lagos State, a history puzzle book, and all of the commendations for this effort and for our gathering must go not only to the Honorable Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Mr. Gbenga Motosho, but to the very persistent, silently unyielding GM of LASRAB, Ms. Toyin Ogulano. So I had decided that I wasn't going to come and would be conveniently represented. But in the last 48 hours, I've received all sorts of very subtle nudges and pins, very passionate appeals that became difficult to ignore. I see Dr. Luke Bile in the house. My eyes are not deceiving me, are they? A round of applause for him. A very, very, very important part of the reason why we gather here. Helped us in the past to document many of the experiences that we gathered in government, and still communicates his thoughts, very rich thoughts, He's somebody you want to engage with. For those of us who had the privilege to serve the government and people of Lagos State, you must perhaps understand that LASRAB holds a special place in our hearts. It is one of those legacies born from conviction that record keeping is not simply a bureaucratic undertaking, it is also an act of patriotism. Record keeping is a form of governance. It is, above all, also an investment in the future. I recall when I took office, one of the books I read was Chief Ayola's trilogy, Voice of Reason, Voice of Courage, and Voice of Wisdom. And for those of you who are still serving, if you haven't read those books, please go and find them. You will understand that we are not dealing with anything new. Everything has happened before. The complexities may have changed. But why do I go there? I go there because somebody kept records of what happened before. Archival materials serve purposes more profound than we often appreciate. They are the quiet sentinels of memory, development, identity, and of continuity. It was with this realization that we established LASRAB. So when Ms. Ogulano was trying to reach me, she said, after all, you are not going to desert the baby that you gave birth to. And that was very, very touching. So LASRAB was not an afterthought, but a deliberate response to a generational responsibility. A responsibility to ensure that Lagosians today and in generations to come will always have a place to turn to for answers about who we are, where we have been, and how we arrived there. But having then created LASRAB, what did we do? We then issued policy directives that all approved buildings for public infrastructure projects, when they are completed, the as-built drawings must be deposited with LASRAB. And it was a condition then that if you did not send a copy to LASRAB, your retention fee will not be paid. We did this because we felt that there was something to be had and to be gained from keeping records of how buildings were constructed for the purposes either of long-term maintenance, repairs in future, and so on and so forth. And if you had an as-built drawing, you would get an idea of where all of the electricals were, where all of the mechanicals were, and so on and so forth. Of course, where did that idea even come from? So we were watching a movie. Most of you might recall this movie, The Raid on Entebbe. The underlying story relating to LASRAB was that those who performed the raid on Entebbe could only have successfully made that attack and retrieved the hostages because they built the airport. And they kept drawings of what they built at the time that they built it. And so when they were to come, they had created a model of what that airport looked like for people who were perhaps not born when the airport was built, but who were to conduct that operation. So keeping as-built drawings can become very, very impactful even for first responders in future. When the unfortunate Dana air crash happened in 2012, it was the first of its type for any governor of Lagos. It was usually and most always a federal operation. we were in the epicenter of something we had never prepared for. And I see Dr. Olugbile again nodding his head. They were in the front lines. And by the time we finished, we had gathered quite some experience. Everybody was researching, reading, writing, and offering ideas to the Executive Council then on how to deal with aviation disasters. In the event when we successfully put some kind of closure to that tragedy, we developed a manual, and again we insisted that the little experience that we had gathered should be deposited in LASRAB as a compass should that need occur. Of course, I have mentioned Dr. Olugbile's name twice now. I will do it again, because I told you that he was the one who was helping us to document some of the things that we did in a harmonious way, if you like. And you wonder what a doctor of psychiatry was doing in writing. He's such a prolific writer. So, and he took that beyond his normal call of duty to do that. So he was the one who also helped to document our experiences when the Ebola incident happened in Lagos. And I'm sure, again, that LASRAB will have a copy of that manual, just what happened. And it's quite different from what you see in the movie, because the movie just doesn't tell all of the story. So I urge the current administration, as a gift to the next generation, for the remarkable work that you did in managing the COVID-19 pandemic, to document what happened and to domicile a copy of those records with LASRAB if it has not already been done. May I also advise and recommend that back copies of significant letters and correspondences of every governor of Lagos, military and civilian, be archived in LASRAB. The records are there somewhere. So, that said, I just want to say that the book that we are launching today vividly testifies to what is possible when history and creativity meet. The book makes the past engaging, and it makes the past accessible. It introduces children to their heritage, not through dense pages of text, but through puzzles, pictures, and stories that stimulate curiosity and civic pride. And I will stop there because I believe that there will be a book reviewer whose thunder I don't want to steal. But this effort by LASRAB is without any doubt a most commendable one. And I would ask those who feel like applauding LASRAB to do so. But let us be clear. The purpose of LASRAB extends far beyond production of educational books. The ultimate goal is to create a central hub, a trustworthy and comprehensive repository of Lagos State's memory, a place where students, leaders, scholars, journalists, and citizens can find facts, documents, policies, and the evidence of our development as a people. To make this a reality, LASRAB must be adequately resourced. Mr. Governor, LASRAB must be well funded. And those resources go beyond the physical. They transcend to the financial and they also move to the digital. So help to keep the baby LASRAB alive. It's growing now. So it can't be wearing the shorts and knickers it wore when it was created many years ago. It now needs agbada, and I'm sure so I urge us all to support this noble work. Let us help preserve history, not as a static museum of forgotten things, but as a vibrant engine of knowledge, resilience, and development. In the past, when we needed to conduct searches about certain things that happened here, sadly and ironically, the place to go was to go overseas, to go and look for records of ourselves. So, and I think nothing validates the idea of the prosperity and the economic value of record keeping than that irony. So when we're talking about Google searches today, all the search engines that we now have in our palms, imagine if records were not kept. There's nothing for them to search. So they are searching kept records. And that is one of the things that we must understand about the economic opportunities that also exist in record keeping. They are a treasure trove of resource. Of course, we are now in the age of artificial intelligence. What is the backbone of artificial intelligence? It is supercomputing power searching for information. If the information is not kept, there is no AI. So, Mr. Governor, this is an opportunity to create new commercial opportunities for the Lagos economy if the investments are made. Congratulations to LASRAB on this new publication. May it be the first of many. May I also strongly advise that in addition to this printed version, LASRAB should consider the publication of a digital edition of this book, if that has not already been done. So in this digital age, accessibility through online platforms will ensure wider reach and deeper impact, especially among our very tech-savvy youth. I am indeed glad that the presentation of the Lagos State History Puzzle Book is part of today's program, but may we never lose sight of the broader vision that gave birth to LASRAB, for it is in preserving history that we best inspire the future. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your attention.
No, that round of applause is for me. Can I have a louder round of applause for him? Thank you very much. God bless you. Thank you. I'd like to welcome, ladies and gentlemen, the Chairman, House Committee on Information, Strategy and Security, Honorable Ogundipe Stephen Olukayode. A round of applause for him, please. We have a special AI documentary that we'll show to show you that we are ready. Ladies and gentlemen, please concentrate on the screen. The man in charge of the lights should pretend he works with NEPA and dim or put off the lights as we enjoy this short documentary put together by us. Unveiling Lagos, a journey through history and culture.
In case you probably guessed, I am an AI-generated character. And so is everything you're about to see. But the stories, the culture, the soul of Lagos, that is all real. Thanks to Lagos State Records and Archives Bureau, We are blending memories with imagination, history with innovation. So let's journey through Lagos together, one AI-crafted frame at a time.
Ẹ káàárọ̀, ẹni káàbọ̀ sílùú Èkó. Gẹ́gẹ́ kò méjì.
Ọba Lende.
Ọmọ sọ̀kọ̀ ní ìtàgé orílẹ̀-èdè wa. Ẹ máa bá wa ká lọ.
Welcome to Lagos. Wow, Lagos don't change. Oh. The government is working. This sunset is amazing, isn't it?
It's perfect. It's perfect. This is the best way to end the day.
Yes. This one goes sweet you well.
This city is almost as beautiful as you are.
You always know what to say.
The Chronicles of a Lost Son. Now found. Yeah. You could live. Say.
Wow.
Ẹ̀yin ọ̀rẹ́ ni ṣe ti máa ṣọ yín ṣá aláti represent.
Èmi kẹ̀, èmi làbàkẹ́. Pátí ẹ̀ ò máa lè dùn tí bá sí ń bẹ̀. Èmi tán wá gbà.
Wo ẹni tí ò bá ná dollars kó má súnmọ́ mi lọ́jọ́ yẹn torí ẹgbẹ́ tàwa yàtọ̀.
All the party wey dem dey do for Lagos City. Na there where you go find the money receipt. She no dey carry last yo, she no dey greedy. Yeah, 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 kí ló ń wá kiri? Mọ́mí Yétúndé wọ́n tún lọ yáwó. Wọ́n fẹ́ ra gèlè lọ síbi ìyàwó. Dádì Sùlíyá wọ́n fẹ́ lọ ṣayé. Wọ́n ti dé fìlà pé ká lọ jayé. Ọjà wọn làwọn tún lọ ṣayé. Wọ́n pe Sànní Adé, wọ́n pe Bàdó. Èyí tún lè gan o, wọ́n ní ìjọ tí mo jó lánàá. Ó máa tó mi rárá o. Ayé tí mo jẹ lọ́jọ́ yẹn o. Ó máa tó mi rárá o. Onílù ṣàmà rọra o. Ó máa tó mi rárá o. Ìjọ tí fẹ́ wá wọra o. Ó máa tó mi rárá o. And so you dance and forget yourself.
Don't you think it's time for us to have our own party?
This is Lagos. Welcome.
Wow. I have 1 million naira for anybody that cited the former governor in the video. Anybody. If you can pinpoint where Mr. Fashola was in the picture, you have 1 million naira. Eh? He was dancing. And you are the one that said it too. And he will dance today. Ladies and gentlemen, we move on quickly to a new art form that is taking over the world. Is going to be on Lagos not being just a place, but a people, celebrating the diversity, resilience, and spirit of Lagosians through history. I'd like to invite to present spoken word poetry, Mr. Abimbola Abdulwaris Adebayo, prolific pen. Wa. Tono. Scree.
I am a proud custodian of my father's culture. So I speak in my mother's tongue to beautify my spoken words. Èmi lọmọ roko lado ọmọ Sanyin Ìlàwẹ̀ ọmọ epo wẹ́rẹ́wẹ́rẹ́ lójúde ti làró lóko tí ò ṣe fàdárò tí ò ṣe fọkọ́rò ọmọ bí a kò bá rótún a kò ní kúrò níbẹ̀. Èmi lọmọ abojúpọ́n kókó má lè fọ́ ọmọ abágijá má bẹ́níyàn jà ọmọ abẹ́gún ṣe má bẹ́níyàn ṣe ọmọ bẹ́rúkú àárá mi ọmọ ọba àlùfọ̀n ọmọ ọba mẹ́ta nígà ọmọ tádéyọ̀ ọ̀dúnmọ̀ta ọmọ onítànà àgbà oyè ọmọ arómiré akẹ́rùwàsà ǹlẹ́ ọmọ olùsí ọba. Good morning, Your Excellencies, distinguished personalities, ladies and gentlemen. I am Abimbola Abdulwaris Adebayo. I'm a spoken word poet. And I don't just do poetry to educate. I do poetry to entertain. Wọ́n ní Èkó ló lára, Èkó ló láṣà, Èkó ló lògbóǹtarìgì ọmọkùnrin tó rí kọjá tí gbogbo ọmọge rí tó yọwọ́ ọṣẹ́. Èkó ló lọ́mọge rọ̀gbọ̀dọ̀ bí ọká ẹlẹ́yinjú ẹgẹ́ onígìgísẹ̀ kóró oṣin tó rí kọjá ní kòòdú ọ̀gá tí wọ́n fi dá aṣàlẹ̀ jẹ̀jẹ̀ bí ẹni òróbìn rí. Èkó ló lórísun alágbálúgbó omi òkun tó wọ́n ọ̀sà tí ò lè láéláé gbẹ. Lagos is our heritage, so I can bank on it. I need no alcohol to tell you Lagos is our origin. I can never depart from this path. It's already part of me. This part of the world obtains every part of my heart, including marina arteries. Èkó àkété, aromisa lẹ́gbẹ̀lẹ́gbẹ̀. This is Lagos State, the city of aquatic splendor where our richness dwells in the culture we inherited from the ages as our cultural heritage. Our name speaks volumes louder than the turbulent tide of the Èkó Atlantic. Aside from Èkó being a social hub for Dirty December, it is also the heartland of the country's economy where we focus on the increment of Nigeria's GDP, as if to say it's not just our birthright to contribute to this country's IGR. For the rise this city was born with is too nano to be micro, so we excel softly. And here in Lagos, you can never expect us to excel less, for this is the center of excellence. Distinguished listeners, today's poetry is not just an alchemy of words. It is one of the 23 psalms that sing our history of the language of poetry. So permit me to take a walk through this civil iconic valley with no trembling feet. From 1979 to 83, Lateef Jakonde didn't just build houses with sticks and stones. He established an abode where Lagosians and tribes across the globe could call home. From 1992 to 93, if the Lagos State blueprint was the book of Daniel, one of our archangels is Sir Michael Otedola, who tendered a multi-million-dollar value to our education and public service sector. Now let's set the record straight. Our archives are not just filled with books and rules. It's a bureau of laudable historical policies that reinvented impactful leadership. The 1999 gubernatorial election was a redefining moment in Lagos, when history took a turn and incubated the greatness of a renewed hope agenda. Every leader has a vision, but Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu remains an illumination that never ceases to shine bright. Jagaban took a bold step beyond boundaries to establish an abode where Lagosians and tribes across the globe could call home. Jagaban took a bold step beyond boundaries to establish our stance as the Asiwaju of infrastructural development amongst all states. In 2007, we ordered for a brighter, rewarding future, and Babatunde Raji Fashola delivered above expectations. Èkó Oníbàjẹ́ wasn't just a catchphrase. It was a phrase that brought smiles to the faces of Lagosians. It wasn't just an elevator pitch, because it pitched our vocal cords with intrinsic excitement and extrinsic motivation to respond with Obajeti. Then, from 2015 to 2019, when the crown went back to one of the places it all began, Ekpe Alaro, Ògúnmọ́dẹdé, ọmọ kúkúrú lọ́sàn-án àgùngbọ̀rọ̀gbọ̀rọ̀ búdòrú, ọmọ afẹ́jàyànjá tó tún pẹja fẹ́jàjẹ, ọmọ onígi mẹ́ta kan bẹ̀jù, bí kan bá sowó, ìkan aṣoyùn, ìkan aṣọ àlárí bá aṣọ. Akinwumi Ambode wasn't just transformative in economic growth and innovative leadership. Our cultural heritage is also one of its priorities that glitters like the shining armor during Eyo Festival, while celebrating the Lagos State Golden Jubilee in 2017. After that, 7 things like the 7 wonders of the world began in 2019. The THEMES Plus agenda. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu teamed up with fellow progressives to make sure that traffic management and transportation isn't just a cock and bull story that is being scribbled in books. For the masses now transit through the roads of the blue line to get a proper health care in a friendly environment. They say education is the key to success. But here in Lagos, it is being accompanied by technology, and that makes it a master key, which opens global doors of opportunities and make masters and kings take a bow when our versatility speaks. Láti Ìkẹjà títí dàgbà Dáríjì, Ìkòròdú ọ̀gá ọmọ ẹ̀lúkú mẹ́dẹ́mẹ́dẹ́ ìmàlẹ̀ àfẹlẹ̀jà, tó fi dé ìsàlẹ̀ Èkó ọmọ ológun kútẹ̀rí ẹ̀sà lóògùn, kí a tó fàdàgbà Èkó rọ̀ sẹ́pẹ̀ alárọ̀. Mbà ní kékulé ó gbọ́ kó sọ fún toko, kádùn ó gbọ́ kó rò fóòbẹ̀ pé making Lagos a 21st century economy is a municipal and community development theory, propounded and being implemented as one of the best-selling ideas by Mr. Selebu to make Lagosians comfortable. Then let's not forget that entertainment took a tour through tourism passing the shores of Lekki, where we will be having one of the country's biggest indoor arena with a 12,000 seating capacity, to the ancient city of Badagry, where our forefathers never chose to sail, but circumstances put them up for sale, and today, their footprint remains the architectural design of the cradle of Nigerian westernized civilization. By the dial of 112, it is safe to say security consciousness is a socially inclusive policy in Lagos State, irrespective of your gender or age group. For no propaganda possesses the grit to tackle the inclusivity policy, because even the visually impaired could visualize this vision as a plus to our agenda. So when you're just coming to Lagos, I'll welcome you to Lagos by saying this is Lagos State. Ekulong baby. This is Lagos State. Ekulu Lara, Ekulu Lasha, Ekulu Laria. Kinto ya lodi aria. Mosheba Koda, Mosheba Sheda, Mosheba Lodumari, Mosheba Loba Loba, Mosheba Joyi, Mosheba Kisiku Olori Eyo, Mosheba Olori Eyo, Akisiku gbogbo ìlú Èkó, mo fẹ́ ikú dànù, mo fẹ́ àrùn dànù, mo fẹ́ àṣírí dànù, àtowó, àtọmọ, kó máa bá wa gbé, èyí àgbó wa gbó, èyí àtọ́ wa tọ́. Ìyá kò àpẹ́ǹpẹ́pẹ́ dolókun, àmọ́ lọ́wọ́, àmọ́ lẹ́sẹ̀, àmọ́ tìmọ̀tìmọ̀, tìmọ̀tìmọ̀ lè tí mọ́rí, tìmọ̀tìmọ̀ lálámọ̀ kámọ̀, ojú ẹ̀ máa ṣẹ́gi òréré, àfọ̀njá alágẹmọ wé máa ṣẹ́gi ta, ọmúwé máa ṣílọ láyà obìnrin dùgbẹ̀dùgbẹ̀, inú òkun ti kún, ilẹ̀ ń tẹ̀pà, lè sí máa bọ́mọ olúkèrèsé dulẹ̀ bàbá ẹ̀, àtàwo, àtọ̀gbẹ̀rì, wọn akọ lálálá lóde tó ṣùgbó, bí àwo bá yọjú, ọgbẹ̀rì máa kọ́gbẹ̀rì lẹ́sẹ̀, èmi aṣáṣá wíní, àṣàṣà wíní, ẹ̀wọ̀n balẹ̀ ró wọ̀yọ̀wọ̀yọ̀, eégún lé ní mi ìṣẹ́ ni àgbá lójú, eégún lé ní wọ́n kì í ṣe ni àgbá lójú, àdìmú òrìṣà, eégún lé ní wọ́n kì í ṣe ni àgbá lójú, oníkó, eégún lé ní wọ́n kì í ṣe ni àgbá lójú, làbá ẹkùn, eégún lé ní wọ́n kì í ṣe ni àgbá lójú, àgéré, eégún lé ní wọ́n kì í ṣe ni àgbá lójú, ọlọ́gẹ̀dẹ̀, eégún lé ní wọ́n kì í ṣe ni àgbá lójú, àfin lẹ́nu wọn kì í ṣe ni àtìláyà, àwọn lají gini àrìn wọ́jà, ilé tí wọ́n wọ̀ ó dìlé owó, ọ̀nà tọ́gbà odò ọ̀nà ọ̀la, àpótí tí wọ́n fi jòkó odò wọn àkúnlẹ̀bọ, èrò tó ń lọ sílùú Èkó, ẹbomi sùúrù mu, torí gbogbo ànani, àtòrí ànani, Ádámù òrìṣà, ọmọ Adémọ́lá ọmọ Àdèlé, ọmọ ọlọ́gbọ́n dorí ẹja mú, ìran ọmúgọ, wọn á di nírun mu, ìmẹ̀sì kọ́lé. Ìmàdẹ̀rẹ̀ Yẹ́sùà. Ó yẹ ẹ máa sọ pé wá. Ẹ sọ pé wá. Apá àdì tó bá dojú kò kiri tògiri níṣe ọ̀fọ̀ kọ́ àmì ohun ni o. Torí àwa la fíjọ ẹyẹ tó ń jẹ ní gbangba oko. Àfíjọ àdàbà tó ń jẹ láwùjọ àṣà. Mo tẹ ẹ̀rín ó kú. Mo tẹ ẹ̀fọ̀n ó kú. Mo tẹ̀rà tó ń bẹ lálẹ́ odò. Bó kú o èmi ò mọ̀. Bí ò kú o èmi ò mọ̀. Ìmẹ̀sì kọ́lé ìmàdẹ̀ Yẹ́sùà. Ẹ̀yọ̀ o, ayé ẹ̀yọ̀ o. Ẹ̀yọ̀ bàbá tàwa tó ń fi góòlù ṣeré, àwa onísanwó oníbòde, òdìlé. We are all pen in the hands of our Creator, and I remain the prolific one that consistently bleeds his wishes. Thank you very much.
Wow. I have a suggestion for last rap. Last rap, I have a suggestion for you. Can we imprison him in our museum so that he does not go anywhere? So you won't need to be paying house rent anymore. We'll lock you up in our office. Amazing. This is the beauty of Lagos we are talking about, and this is the beauty we must keep for generations yet unborn to see. Can we please give him a resounding round of applause? Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have a special goodwill message from His Royal Majesty Alailua Obarilwanu Babatunde Osholale Aremu Akilo I, CFR, the Oba of Lagos and the permanent chairman of the Council of Obas and Chiefs in Lagos. It reads, Discover Lagos, a history puzzle book. Distinguished guests, esteemed creators, and fellow custodian of culture, pressmen, ladies and gentlemen. I, Oba Rilwanu Babatunde Osholale Aremu Akilo I, congratulate us all on the launch of Discover Lagos, a history puzzle book. This remarkable publication is more than a book. It is an invitation to explore the rich heritage, people, places, and pivotal moments that have shaped Lagos into the heartbeat of our nation. Through engaging puzzles, it sparks curiosity, encourages learning, and deepens our collective pride in who we are. At a time when our children are growing up in a fast-paced digital world, this creative approach to history connects them to their roots in a way that is fun, memorable, and meaningful. It brings history to life, making it accessible not only to students, but also to families, educators, and communities across the state. Alailua commends this visionary work. It reflects the enduring importance of culture, the power of education, and the joy of discovery. I encourage every school, home, and library in Lagos to embrace it. Let us continue to preserve our past by passing it on wisely, creatively, and proudly. Muyofun, Muyofurami. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please give us a few minutes of your time as we concentrate on the screen to bring you a few more audiovisual goodwill messages. Thank you.
I am Oba Olufolarin Olukayode Ogunsonwo Elade IV, the Alara of Imara Kingdom, and Division of Lagos State. It is my great pleasure to give a goodwill message on today's historic event. It is historic because the Lagos State Archives and Records Bureau is launching a puzzle book which has 55 chapters and 220 pages.
To speak about this initiative from the Lagos State Records and Archives Bureau of Lagos State. I remember vividly when this agency of government was initiated and created. And ever since, we have not had any things.
It's my pleasure to have the honor to extend my heartfelt congratulations to the General Manager of the agency responsible for this exercise. Indeed, the contribution of this lofty goal achievable from the launch of this book will further buttress the fact that Lagos State has a rich history.
My name is Olanrewaju Adigunfagbon, Professor of Environmental Law, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, and former Vice Chancellor of Lagos State University. I present to you Discover Lagos State, a history puzzle book.
This is very, very amazing. This is very, very significant to Lagosian because I've gone through it, and I've seen what is there. It's a very, very, it illuminates our culture, it illuminates our tradition, it illuminates our history, and gives us that direction that we can always refer to navigate tomorrow.
I am very honored and privileged to celebrate with the Lagos State Records and Archives Bureau, LASTRAB, on the occasion of the unveiling of this important and landmark book, Discover Lagos State, a history puzzle book, which is the volume 1 of this landmark publication.
Let me join thousands of Lagosians or millions of Lagosians to congratulate you on the unveiling of this very all-important book. For me, looking at it and reviewing the book, I can say without a doubt, it's an ingenious way of recreating history in our dear state.
Yes, I need to speak briefly about LASTRAB, that is an agency I'm supervising under the leadership of Mrs. Ogunlami. I want to say specifically that it is the creation of law under the leadership of Right Honorable Mudashiru Ajayi Obasa.
The Lagos State Archives and Records Bureau has been working fantastically to preserve and to document historic activities in our Lagos State Center of Excellence. We are highly delighted and we are very happy with what they are doing because it is one of the most proactive agencies in Lagos State.
As the traditional institution in Lagos State remains the custodian of the people's culture and heritage.
What is fascinating about this book? It tells the story of Lagos State in a fun and entertaining way.
I recall that in 2017, in particular, when Lagos State, our dear state, celebrated its 50th, the very much publicized Lagos at 50. LASTRAB played an important part in what we do, in what we did throughout that period. Documentation, exhibitions, and documentaries. And I think that by publishing this book, without having to wait for a big celebration like Lagos at 50 or Lagos at 60 that will come in 2 years, shows that the management of LASTRAB, again, is very forward-looking.
Given the fact that for years now, we've neglected history, and for someone to come up with a puzzle that every Lagosian, even Nigerians and visitors to our country can look at and know a lot about our history is highly commendable.
And I want to say that it is basically to promote our cultural heritage and to let the world know where we are coming from and how we need to preserve things that has to be our own. And the agency has been doing very well, but they still need a lot of support. And we've been also been striving hard here at the Lagos State House of Assembly to see how far we could be of assistance to them.
This book, I've gone through some pages, chapters, and I've also worked on the puzzle. and I looked at the traditional festivals, in the Ikorodu traditional festivals, and I tried to answer the questions or the puzzle.
I've gone through this beautiful book, about 55 chapters. The beauty of it is that it's about history, it's about culture, but it's also engaging the brain because it's a puzzle book.
You are solving a puzzle and you are knowing about the culture of Lagos. You are solving a puzzle and you are learning about the streets of Lagos, learning about the iconic buildings, about the past of Lagos and the present activities of Lagos. That is what this book has done.
I commend you strongly for that ingenuity, and I hope other institutions can learn one or two things from this. Congratulations to LASRA, congratulations to Lagos State.
So I'm appealing that we should start from all local government chairmen, all state parastatals. We should be able to start archiving all our documents with this agency, and let's see how we could also add value as far as they are concerned.
I'm just happy that it's just the first volume. As exhaustive as it is, what LASRA is telling us is that they've not even scratched the surface. So there will be volume 2. I'm sure that there will be additional volumes. And in all of this, our Lagos State, our dear state, will be enriched.
There's still more to come, ladies and gentlemen. Is volume 1, is volume 1, volume 2.
Performing governor.
Volume 2 is still to come. Volume 3 will come. And for as long as we breathe, for as long as there's a Lagosian on the face of the earth, more volumes will come. Can I have a round of applause for all those who have made this possible? Permit me to welcome most distinguished Senator of the Federal Republic, member of the Governor's Advisory Council, the irrepressible Senator Ganiu Olanrewaju Solomon goes. A round of applause for him, please. We move on quickly, and we shall be rushing at the speed of light now to the next item on the program, which is the book review. Our reviewer holds a PhD degree in political science from the University of Ibadan. He worked with the Royal Netherlands Embassy from 1997 to 2006 before joining the Department of History and International Studies, Lagos State University. He is well published both nationally and internationally. He won the institution-based research award sponsored by TEDFund both in 2017 and 2019. He's currently a member of the Lagos State Anti-Human Trafficking Committee and a former deputy director of the Lagos State University Foundation Program. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, is the director of PDS Lasu Ekpe Campus and a member of Lagos State University Council, Governing Council. I present to you Professor Olawale Lawal, our book reviewer. A round of applause for him, please. Please keep it coming, keep it coming. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Your Excellencies, the Governor of Lagos State, ably represented by his deputy, Dr. Obafemi Kadri Hamzat, Kabiyesi, Mojuba Fere-Adio, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I am here to give a review of the book, Discover Lagos State, a history puzzle book. But before I do that, I quickly will tell you two things that the former governor of Lagos State, Mr. Raji Fashola, has done to document history of Lagos State. The first thing that I know is that in 2012, he established the Lagos History Committee. And I'm happy to be a member of that committee. He asked us to go to everywhere, all over the world, to get records of Lagos history. And I was part of that. The second thing he did was that he said every 27th of May of every year should be declared a Lagos State Day. I wonder what has happened to that vision since you did that in 2015. So I hope something will be done about that suggestion. Thank you very much. So I go straight to the review of the book, and I read from what I have put down. And I said, Discover Lagos History, a history puzzle book, is a book which addresses history and historiography of Lagos from another perspective, laced with a pine, but sufficiently removing a major clog from the learning of history. As a teacher, I wonder how the authors of the book were able to arrive at the secret of knowledge, integration, and internalization. Over the years, I have told my students that the only time you can lay claim to knowing anything is when you are able to teach that which you know to somebody or to yourself. The book is coming at a time when A, the federal government of Nigeria has made history a compulsory subject in our schools, and B, when students are yearning for more simplified approach to the study of history. The book has come at its time. It is a pedagogical relief for teachers and an interactive simulation for students. The book pays retro, heritage, and historical attention to the 5 traditional administrative divisions of Lagos, known as Ibile, an acronym which refers to Ikeja, Badagry, Ikorodu, Lagos, and Ekpe. The book combines logic and lucidity in the form of transparent illustration of historical facts and our cultural ties. No wonder His Excellency, Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, the governor of Lagos State, describes the book in the foreword as one written in a racy and simple language that makes it a pleasure to read. Discover Lagos, a history puzzle book, is a 220-page book, and it comprises of 55 chapters. This is not a history book, strictly speaking. Rather, it is an ethnographical illustration of the peoples of Lagos. The book is divided into 2 parts. The first part, from pages 1 to page 139, contains 37 chapters, and this part focuses on the history, culture, tradition, and lifestyle of the peoples of Lagos. Part 2 of the book begins on page 140, and it runs through to page 220. This 18-chapter part is a recording of significant periods in Lagos. The book wastes no time in objective declaration. When the chapter 1 briefly describes the importance of traditional festival, and after that, a list of these festivals are made in bullet points. The idea of bullet points is the first evidence of modern and digital footprint that is commonplace in the book. In this book, the bullet points are designed to lead readers into one of the vast approaches to seamless learning. In chapter 1, all important traditional festivals are mentioned from the 5 Ibile divisions of Lagos State, and the Adamu-Orisha is used as the illustrative photo. A word search game is designed where readers are required to search for the names of traditional festivals in Lagos that have been bullet pointed in the beginning. In doing so, 2 main pedagogical objectives have been achieved. Namely, the reader is teaching himself what he has learned, And second, is doing so free from stress and difficulty. This approach is replicated in all the chapters as they all end in either crossword or word search games. Chapter 2 to 10 contains historical and cultural highlights of Lagos State. For some of us who grew up on Lagos Island, especially around the Petedo, Catholic Mission Street, the old colonial prison, which today is known as the Freedom Park, will continue to retain its airy, frightening, and spooky nature in the consciousness of every child who heard the story of how the place was a place of colonial prisoners. In fact, up to the 1970s and 1980s, the story we heard, of course, with palpable heartbeat, was that some of the prisoners still lived there with their families. There was also the incredible addition that the Lion Building, a police post, was intentionally built close to the colonial prison to watch over these prisoners. Today, it is a freedom park, thanks to the vision of Lagos State government that changed this narrative. Other significant highlights are authorship in Lagos. In this chapter, we have photos of current Eleko, Oba Rilwan Akiolu, and those of Oba Adeyinka Oyekon and Oba Musa Diku Adeniji Adele. Between the two, there is a song which goes thus. Fìlà àkọ́kọ́ látúndé lẹ́ǹkejì ẹnu ọwá lágbé fi dé ìsàlẹ̀ Èkó. The meaning of this was just to talk about the succession dispute between Oba Musa Ndiku Adele, who acceded to the throne in 1949, but people expected that it was going to be Oba Adeyinka Oyekon. That was the Fìlà àkọ́kọ́, which he missed. But when the second opportunity came, it was in 1965, and he was actually crowned the Lagos King. We also have major areas of Lagos State, major areas of Lagos Mainland, colonial administrators, consuls, and governors of Lagos from 1851 to 1960. The important point here is that Lagos predated Nigeria, and there is a clear 63 years between Lagos and Nigeria, which came into being in 1914. And Lagos had existed 109 years, even before Nigeria attained political independence in 1960. Other highlights are names of governors of Lagos from 1967 to date, tourism destination in Lagos State, popular street foods in Lagos State, and historical streets on Lagos Island. In chapter 11 to 12, these chapters are devoted to tourist attractions in Badagry and Ekpe divisions, respectively. Not many people know that the Lekki Rest House was a confinement home for Chief Obafemi Awolowo when he was charged for treason in the First Republic. Again, the tomb of George Frimingo on Tokuno in Badagry is a significant slave trade antique of a major Portuguese slave trade merchant who died and was buried in Badagry. Chapter 13 to 15 deals with public markets, iconic religious monuments, and social clubs in Lagos. Chapter 16 to 20 explains the anthropological difference between culture and tradition. In these chapters, the broader ambience of culture gives way to traditional specifics. Therefore, there are 4 cultural chiefs in Lagos, but they have specific and non-sweepable traditional duties. The Akaribiri is a political class who plays a crucial role in the governance of Lagos. The Idaho is a class of traditional landowners, the gentries. Ogalade class consists of priests, and the Abagbon are generally the war chiefs. The head of the Akaribiri is the Eletu Odibo, traditional prime minister, who is responsible for crowning of Oba in Lagos, hence Ituosi Oba Oje. The Ijejo class is headed by Olumegbon. Oba Nikoro heads the Ogalade class, and the Ashogbon is the head of the Abagbon. Chapter 21 is devoted to Lagos State coat of arms. And this is what the former governor alluded to. And I will have to repeat that here. For the purpose of this review, I personally appreciate the fact that the Lagos coat of arms takes a pivot in the book. Today, some organizations in Lagos still misinterpret the state coat of arms. It should be noted that the coat of arms enjoys similar legal status as political map of a state. It is coded in the crest laws of our state. Therefore, no derogation, no misinterpretation of the symbols is permitted. The Lagos coat of arms are recorded correctly in the book as the Keremesi, Akoko leaves, coconut palms, the three lines which represent the past, present, and future of the state. The future and the state. The wheel, the cowries, the fishing activities, and the motto of Lagos, justice and progress. Chapter 22 deals with ancient coastal areas in Lagos. Chapter 23 to 25 discusses the administrative divisions. Chapter 26 deals with indigenous trades in Lagos State. Chapter 25 discusses ownership in Ikorodu. Chapter 28 is about transportation in Lagos State. Chapter 25 is devoted to indigenous markets in Ikorodu. Chapter 30 explains traditional festivals in Ikorodu, while Chapter 31 deals with traditional chieftaincy tools in Ikorodu. Except for one or two interjecting chapters in from 24 to 31. These chapters are principally on Ikorodu divisions of Lagos. Chapter 32 to 36 highlight core aspect of traditions of Badagry, the traditional ruling quarters, popular towns, indigenous festivals, popular snacks and foods, and ownership in Badagry Kingdom. Chapter 37 draws the curtains on part 1 of the book, and it discusses the indigenous areas in Ekpe. As already established earlier, part 2 of the book provides chronological sequencing of historical events in Lagos State. The timeline approach tells history in a compact and concise manner for time, space, and knowledge management. This is why it is possible to tell the entire history of the 1851 bombardment of Lagos in chapter 38 of the book in few sentences without missing out of its pivot and essence. The Eyo Festival takes the center stage in chapter 39, but beyond describing the attires and documentation of all of its symbols, all the Eyo festivals that were held from 1852 were documented up to date. And in all, we have had 87 Adamu Orisha display in Lagos. And chapter 40 of the book captures this so succinctly, namely, Badagry emerged as this commercial center on the West African coast between 1736 to 1851. Christmas was first celebrated there on December 25, 1842, etc. Chapter 41 to 42 shows the Brazilian influence on the architecture of Lagos. In the 19th century, Afro-Brazilian architectural designs dotted so many parts of Lagos Island, especially around the Popo Aguda, that is now known as Brazilian quarters of Lagos. There were the Casa de Fernandez building at Tinombu, the Gonzalo House at Oshodi Street, adjacent to Kumbo, the Shitabe Mosque, and many such designs at Igboshere and Bangboshe Street of Lagos State. Chapter 43 to 55 erects Lagos into a true cosmopolis. Although many of the advancements were largely enforced by way of provisions of ordinance to create legal contests for their operations. There were local collaborators who assisted in the sources of the creations. In these ordinances, penalties were prescribed. In these ordinances, penalties were prescribed for non-compliance. The history of electricity in Lagos in Chapter 43 began specifically in 1898. Why this was to create social convenience for the European communities, the incidences of theft and robbery perpetrated under darkness at night actually accelerated electrification process of Lagos. This process saw to the evolution of a second power plant in Ijora B, which was commissioned in 1956 by Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. The Glover Hall was built in 1887. It occupies, this discourse occupies Chapter 45, and it should be added that prominent Lagosians raised the fund for the hall, and it was only named after Oba Goloba, that is the coronation of Glover, who had passed 2 years later in 1885. Chapter 45 to 46 explains the epochal event in Lagos, while the former deals with record of event preceding the 19th century, from 1400 to 1780. The latter chapter concentrates on specific events of the 19th century. Here, timelines of succession of Lagos Oba, bombardment of Lagos, the Treaty of Session, establishment of schools and religious institutions, chambers of commerce, inauguration of Ibadan-Lagos Railway in 1900. All of them are highlighted in these chapters. Chapter 45 may have captured major events in Lagos in the 20th century, just as the National Archives, Kew Garden, London, did in its centenary history of Lagos. Chapter 48 to 50 highlights the traditional and cultural importance of Iga-Izugora being Oba's palace to Lagos. Okay? The first West African to qualify as medical doctor, Dr. John Randall, and the Central and the Cathedral Church of Christ Marina, all of them are to be found in this chapter. Chapter 51 to 55 are devoted to monuments of historical noteworthiness in Lagos history. For instance, in chapter 51, the Tinubu Square might just pass for a mere quadrangular landmark leading to so many streets in central Lagos. But it is far more than that. The square was where the declaration of amalgamation of Southern and Northern Protectorate of Nigeria took place in 1914. It was the same spot that eminent Nigerians had earlier gathered 46 later for Nigeria's independence on October 1st, 1960. In chapter 54, Independence Bridge, the one at Bonny Camp, and the Independence Hostel, now Federal Palace Hotel, where the various documents of Nigeria's independence were signed by all parties. To complete the train is the mention of the Independence House, Nigeria's Defense House, in chapter 53. The 25-story building was commissioned in 1960 by the British government in commemoration of Nigeria's independence. Chapter 52 tells about the oldest secondary school in Nigeria, namely the Church Missionary Society Grammar School, CMS, which was established in 1859 by the CMS mission. It should be noted, however, although that the CMS Grammar School was established in 1859, the 1882 Education Code was the colonial first attempt to regulate education in Lagos. Chapter 55 deals with the first story building in Nigeria located in Badagry, and this was built in 1842 by Reverend Townsend. By way of conclusion, I am glad that this is a volume 1 of the book. So in subsequent volumes, it will be better to disaggregate themes in the Ibile form of Lagos State. This will prevent knowledge intersections and fact extrapolations. It will be better also to arrange themes that are general to this division in a section or chapter for clarity and undue transplantation of topics. Okay? Again, other areas of Lagos will require more attention, especially Badagry and Ekpe. For tourism destinations, there are more areas to be covered. For example, the Igbo area and the Itiring areas of Ireland must be combed for more tourist attractions. Let me share my personal experience around this area with you, which I gathered during my personal research. The Kuramo Lake, for example, had become developed into a camp where most Europeans who visited Lagos in the late 19th century traveled to for leisure. Records showed that a particular Englishman called Duckworth was responsible for the development of the aesthetic potentials of the Kuramo camp to one that became highly recommended to most European visitors to Lagos. It was also learned that Duckworth, on his return to England, requested that he be buried on the Kuramo camp after his death. Although his wish did not see the light of the day, the Kuramo Lake continued to enjoy some international tourist interest because Duckworth gave a vivid description of the place in his memoir. Government will have to invest in tourism to fully benefit from its potential if some of these things will have to be achieved. I've done this review in clear solemnity, and I see it has satisfied its goal and objective, namely, discover Lagos State, a history puzzle. In short, in context and in content, it has provided a circle of growth for acquiring knowledge, practicing skills that are targeted at knowledge development and reflecting on learning experiences. This is how puzzles work, and it is my pleasure to present this book to all this gathering. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And now, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, permit me to invite to the microphone a man who served as special advisor on works to the Honorable Minister for Works, Power and Housing, a man who has served our state as veritable partner in the Themes Plus agenda, a man of great humane cordiality, the Deputy Governor of the Center of Excellence and State of Aquatic Splendor, Dr. Kadri Obafemi Amzat, representing our Governor, Mr. Celebo, Mr. Imota Rice Mill, Mr. Lekki Deep Port, Mr. Incident Commander, Mr. Celebo, Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Deputy Governor. A round of applause for you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Please, let's be seated. Thank you very much. Well, good afternoon, everyone. The 13th Governor of Lagos State, His Excellency, Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, thank you very much. And as suggested or as directed by Benga, that you are still seated. Thank you very much. Distinguished Senator Benga Barrio Ashafa, thank you very much again for coming. Member Lagos State Executive Council that are here, both serving and former
particularly the Honorable Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Mr. Gbenga Omotosho, body of permanent secretaries, serving and retired, that are here, a whole lot of Alan Ops members, and Dr. Olubile has been mentioned. Thank you, thank you, sirs, for coming. The Director General, Lagos State Records and Archives Bureau, Ms. Toyin Ogunlano, thank you very much. The Oba of Lagos, His Royal Majesty Oba Rilwan Aremu Akiolu, ably represented here by the traditional White Cap chiefs, led by High Chief Ismail Oladeinde Folaji Olorogun Ide of Lagos. Thank you very much. And other royal family fathers that are here, represented Oniru of Iruland, Elegushi, Alara, and the rest. Thank you very, very much. Members of the diplomatic community, the Consul General, the Consulate of Brazil, thank you very much, sir. Consul General, the People's Republic of China, the Consul General of India, and of course the Consul General of Burkina Faso. Thank you very, very much for coming. And of course, all our leaders, GSC member, Senator Gani Solomon, and many others, distinguished Nigerians that are here, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very, very much. So I'm very delighted to join all of us here this morning for the presentation of this puzzle book on the history of Lagos State, an initiative that uniquely blends education, creativity, and cultural preservation. This project is an innovative learning tool designed to stimulate especially young minds, but not only young minds, but to also promote curiosity, deepen our pride as Lagosians, and our collective understanding of the history and heritage of our dear state. Permit me, therefore, to acknowledge and appreciate the presence of the special guest of honor, His Excellency, Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola, a leader whose administration in 2008 established LASRA. And I recall very clearly, he wrote an executive order directing that all documentations, all as-built drawings, so when we build schools, when we build bridges, when we build everything, we must have 5 copies, one in the Ministry of Science and Technology so that we can have it automated, one in LASRA, all over. So we thank you very much. So this foundational act was not merely administrative. It was an intentional effort to institutionalize and preserve and document, disseminate Lagos narrative for posterity. It is important that we not only understand ourselves, but we must understand our history so that we don't lose ourselves. Your Excellency, the seed that was sowed then through the establishment of LASRA have continued to bear fruits, as evidenced by the agency's steady evolution into a vital hub for historical scholarship and public education. We remain grateful for this enduring legacy. I'm particularly pleased that this book is rooted in local content developed here in Lagos by our own people, by Lagosians, telling our own story to our own children. That is the essence of the vision for Lagos, a self-sustaining, knowledge-driven society where innovation thrives and our values are not lost in the shadow of globalization. We must therefore acknowledge the Lagos State Records and Archives Bureau for consistently demonstrating foresight and relevance in their programming under its current Director General, Toyin Ogunlano, who is working tirelessly to sustain and enhance the narrative of the archive and record keeping here in Lagos. We welcome partnership that can help us take this puzzle book into more schools across all local governments and all council developments of our state. Let me reiterate that Lagos State government remains committed to supporting knowledge-based initiatives that strengthen identity, promote creativity, and inspire civic pride among our people. It is important that we understand more about Lagos, not London, not New York. It is important as Lagosians that we build our historical perspective to know more about Lagos to understand Lagos, to know the direction of Lagos, to know the foundation of Lagos. So let us continue to build a Lagos where history is preserved, knowledge is shared, and innovation leads the way. So once again, I want to thank LASRAP, the Ministry of Information, and for all of us for coming together to unveil this great book. Thank you very much for listening to me.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the past, the present, and the future will present to you the reason why we're here this afternoon, the history puzzle book titled Discover Lagos State. If you're happy that you are present to be part of this occasion, let's give God a round of applause. Let's celebrate our Lagos. Let's celebrate our identity. Let's celebrate our tradition. And let's celebrate our people. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Discover
Lagos State, a history puzzle book.
I'd like to invite Your Excellency, Mr. Deputy Governor, you know, alone. I'd like to invite the Deputy Governor to join us, our esteemed former governor to join us, Honorable Commissioner, dear Senator, the House of Reps, Kabiesi, please join us. We'll do this in batches. We'll do this in batches.
Discover Lagos State, an history puzzle book that stands out
more books,
for
please.
history in Nigeria.
Thank you, thank you. So, if you're ready, we're going to spell LASRAP. We're going to hold up the book for photographers, and we're going to have the sparkles. Give me one L. A. S. R. A. B. And that is
LASRAP. History is being made. A book is learned.
Okay, so I'm going to be passing the microphone. Let me start with the youngest 70-year-old anywhere in the world. A man that loves Lagos with a passion, with the kind permission of Mr. Deputy Governor, Senator Gbenga Ashafa.
Your Excellencies, here present, traditional rulers, members of the Executive Council, the Honorable Commissioner in charge of information, the Chairman of the Committee supervising LASRAP, the DG. I want to congratulate the DG particularly for putting this together. I'm not the only distinguished senator here. I think Senator Gani Solomon is here, but you know, the governor has rightly reminded me that I'm the only one holding the microphone. I'm looking at my Oga, the former governor. Well, I've been part of LASRAP right from the inception. When the governor established it, I was given the opportunity to go and look for the piece of land where it was going to be located. So it's really an honor. It just reminded me that it's in Magodo. I don't know if anybody is reading any meaning to that. It's my pleasure to support this cause with an amount that I will disclose later, but it is going to be a 7-figure Naira account.
Always 7 figures.
So, with your kind permission, Mr. Gbenga.
I'm right behind you, sir.
The MC, can I hand over to the Deputy Governor?
Please go ahead, sir.
Or to...
Let's hand over to ESCO. ESCO is here. They must support us. I love this ESCO.
Because Senator Ashafa will, by God's grace, get to the 8th floor. We should ask for 8 figures.
Mr. Deputy Governor, sir, the ESCO.
No,
we are not collecting money from you. It's only support
ESCO
we
will
want.
buy 50 copies and we pay 50 copies. I know, we tell her.
Thank you very much, Mr. Deputy Governor. The most distinguished Senator Ganiu Olanrewaju Solomon, a man who, when I see money, is here.
Thank you. Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor, Your Excellency, BRF, we call him BRF, and all other protocols duly observed. I acknowledge the presence of those representing the KBSC. This is a very good book, and we need to encourage the spread of the book, as explained to us by Gbenga. So I will support it with a very good figure. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
There's a House of Rep member behind you. Is the Tiaroba New West House of Rep member in the People's Republic of Lagos.
Good afternoon, everyone. Deputy Governor, stand by existing protocol, Deputy Governor, the past Governor of Lagos State, my senior members in the National Assembly here today as well, all the chiefs and everybody, the ESCO, I say good afternoon to everyone. In my capacity as Fuad Kayode Laguda, not as a member of National Assembly, I'll make an humble contribution towards this when I have the account. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your humility. God bless you for your humility. You know, the House of Assembly is very supportive to LASRAB and all agencies. I commend them, I thank them for all they do, but they need to say something now and support us the more. Thank you.
Thank you. I think, like you know, I've said we've supported through law, and we'll continue to support as far as that is concerned. But on a personal note, as the chairman of the House Committee, I will also donate personally to my sister.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chairman.
On behalf of myself, I donate my family. Now, our fathers are the reason why we're here. Our kings, who are custodians of our cultures. Let me first start with Elegushi. Let me allow us sit down, because I can't want to collect money from you and be punishing you again. We particularly thank the diplomatic community. I know that they are thinking of the support they can give LASRAB to make this agency produce more books. Thank you, China. Thank you, India. Thank you, Brazil. Thank you, Burkina Faso.
Thank you very much. Really do appreciate it.
Burkina Faso, merci beaucoup. Let's start first with
the People's Republic of China.
Yeah. So I'm General Counsel of the People's Republic of China in Lagos. My Nigerian name is Ayo, so you can call me Ayo.
Can I have a round of applause for Ayo, please?
I think that it's amazing. It's a very good book. I think that not only Nigeria people or Lagos people need to discover Lagos State, but also Chinese people living in Nigeria, living in Lagos, need this book. So we will support, and if you need, we can also provide the donation. Yes, I hope that all Chinese people living in Lagos can have this book. So once more, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Many, many congratulations on unveiling of this book. It's a great thing to know about the history and culture of the city where we are working, where we are living. So I'm sure this book is going to be immensely beneficial for all Indians who are living in Lagos or Nigeria, and they can benefit from this. I would definitely like to popularize it among them and so that they can use it better. Many congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I always say it's impossible for a Brazilian not to feel at home in Lagos, right? So I really, congratulations on this book. This is going to be really fantastic. And thank you very much. And I cannot believe how much, they say that Brazil and Nigeria are allies. No, we are more than allies. We are family. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brazil. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the cultural troupe of Lagos State, the Lagos State Council for Arts and Culture, as they do a special performance. A round of applause for them, please.
Mode, Olúwa mi ò mo lọ mo bọ̀ o. Mode, Olúwa mi ò mo lọ mo bọ̀ o. Mo lọ mo bọ̀ mo wá ṣọdún o ọdún re o. Mode, Olúwa mi ò mo lọ mo bọ̀ o. Mode, Olúwa mi ò mo lọ mo bọ̀ o. Mo lọ mo bọ̀ mo wá ṣọdún o ọdún re o. Ọdún re o, ọdún re ẹ̀jẹ̀ ká tó ṣe lónìí. Ọdún re o, ọdún re o, ọdún re ẹ̀jẹ̀ ká tó ṣe lónìí. Ọdún re o, ẹyẹ òrìṣà èyí fẹsẹ̀ kọ. Yẹ́sì bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ẹyẹ òrìṣà èyí fẹsẹ̀ kọ. Máa gbé tèmi yé ọ̀rọ̀ ìbáre. Ọjọ́mọdé ìta ni mo bá jà, èrègbè méjì afáragúnra. Ọjọ́mọdé ìta ni mo bá jà, èrègbè méjì afáragúnra. Ọjọ́mọdé ìta ni mo bá jà, èrègbè méjì afáragúnra. Ọjọ́mọdé ìta ni mo bá jà, èrègbè méjì afáragúnra. Kíniwé. Òwú gbé tó ẹ lọ́wọ́ àkótó ti gbá náà dé tó. Àkọ́dé má dé ń do àdáyé. Màgbáyé. Àkọ́dé má sàkọ́dé bẹ́ẹ̀ àkọ́dé má dé ń do. Fojú wáyà yìí kọ́ńkọ́. Wàyígbé. Odúwáyà yẹ lọ. Wàyígbé. Odúwáyà yẹ lọ. Ọpẹ́ mi wá tó wẹ̀rẹ̀ ká tó jíwé yẹ̀wé. Ọpẹ́ mi wá tó wẹ̀rẹ̀ ká tó jíwé yẹ̀wé. Mímọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ mọ̀ ìta. Kíkó máa wù tán wẹ̀. Mímọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ mọ̀ ìta. Kíkó máa wù tán. kọlàbà ọlọ́gẹ̀dẹ̀ ẹ̀yọ̀ oníkó ẹ̀yọ̀ àgèrè ìsàlẹ̀ èkó àwọn ọlọ́niwọ́ tiwa lọ́ọ́mí ṣe ẹ̀dẹ́nu ọwá ibẹ̀ ló ń dádé adé orí ọba ó ní ìgà ilé ọlá ìgà ilé ọlá ìgà ilé ọlá. Kádé pẹ́ lórí ọmọ wa rí níwọ̀n ọmọ wa Akíolú ọmọ Èkó ará Èkó kájọ ríre mú délé àjọṣe wa má bàjẹ́ o àjọṣe wa má bàjẹ́ o ayé ilé ẹ̀yọ̀ o ẹ̀yọ̀ fún ẹ̀yọ̀ nẹ́nẹ́nẹ́ ẹ̀yọ̀ ayé ilé ẹ̀yọ̀ ẹ̀yọ̀ ayé ilé ẹ̀yọ̀ ẹ̀yọ̀ bàbá ń ta wá tó fi góòlù ṣeré ẹ̀yọ̀ bàbá ń ta wá tó fi góòlù ṣeré àwa oníṣàwọ̀ oníbòde onílé ẹ̀yọ̀ ayé ilé ẹ̀yọ̀ ẹ̀yọ̀ ayé ilé ẹ̀yọ̀ ẹ̀yọ̀ bàbá ń ta wá tó fi góòlù ṣeré ẹ̀yọ̀ bàbá ń ta wá tó fi góòlù ṣeré àwa oníṣàwọ̀ oníbòde onílé kí lè dúpẹ́ owó là dúpẹ́ kí ló fi ṣe. aṣọ ló fi rà. aṣọ kí ẹwà o. ẹyẹ òyìnbó. ẹdúnjalè ó fòlù lọ. ẹdúnjalè ó fòlù lọ. ọlọ́ba o. ọlọ́ba mi jó aya rẹ̀ mi wòran oríjó ṣe bí ọba. ọlọ́ba ọjọ́
Ladies and gentlemen, the Lagos State Council for Arts and Culture. A round of applause for them, please. Thank you. A round of applause for them, please. I want to thank the Deputy Governor for being with us. God bless you. I've been told that if you don't stay with us till the end, I will not collect my balance. And I know the way to your house, sir. So if you go, I'll come and collect my balance in your house. Ladies and gentlemen, we're still celebrating ourselves. It's still history. We'll be having our panel session now. First, on the panel, he is an accomplished professor of culture history with a career spanning over 3 decades. He currently serves as professor of history at the Lagos State University of Education, Laswed, Otoejaniki, where he is a member of the institution's governing council. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Professor Ajetumobi Rashid. A round of applause for him, please. Your students are definitely here. I thought as much. And you're a good lecturer. If you think because you clap high, he will give you free marks. Irolekpa. Our next panelist, ladies and gentlemen, was a pioneering student of Lagos State University, Ojo, in 1984. He has his master's in history and diplomacy, a PhD from University of Ibadan. He had a brief stint at the Concord Press of Nigeria, Ikeja, and returned to his alma mater, LASU, in 2000, and focused on teaching and writing of Lagos history. Since then, he has contributed extensively to both academic and community services. He has to his credit more than 35 peer-reviewed articles. Please welcome Professor Habib Abiodun Sani, PhD. Our next panelist is a seasoned administrator, educator, and community leader with over 2 decades of experience in public service, education, and private sector. He has carved a niche and established himself as a dedicated and result-oriented professional. Alongside his rich portfolio, he's an associate member of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, Chartered Institute of Personnel Management, and Nigerian Institute of Management, to mention a few. I present to you the Commissioner, Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, Mr. Jamiu Tolani Adedeji Ali Balogun. Our next panelist we met earlier, an amazing book reviewer, who is Director LASU PDS Ekpe. Please let's welcome Professor Olawale Lawal. Wow. A round of applause for him, please. Also joining this distinguished panel is a public speaker, open knowledge advocate, and Wikimedia leader. He is a Nigerian media strategist, language activist, social entrepreneur, and a man who believes passionately in the preservation of cultural heritage and expanding access to free knowledge. Please welcome Ambassador Olaniyan Olushola, Wikimedia Nigeria founder. A round of applause for him, please. Also on the panel, ladies and gentlemen, is a man of great humane cordiality, a man who believes astutely in culture. Everywhere he goes, he preaches the culture and history of the Yoruba race. Most importantly, Lagos. Welcome Omoba Deji Irawo. A round of applause for him, please. And definitely last but not the least, our panel lead and moderator is a communication specialist, a multi-trained broadcast professional, and CEO of Gold Apples Media. His career in media and communications commenced in 1991. Since then, he has contributed significantly to various media outlets across Nigeria as facilitator, mentor, and consultant. He currently co-hosts Sunrise Daily on Channels TV and is known for his distinctive interview style. Finally honed through decades of diverse conversation, he creates an atmosphere of discovery, making every discussion insightful and memorable. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, is a beacon of expertise that seeks to elevate your experience and conversations. Please welcome my brother and friend, J. Ayo Makinde. A round of applause for him, please.
Good. Well, the safest thing to say is day. Good day is the safest thing to say, whether morning, noon, or night. Welcome to this beautiful time, and please, can you help me give a big round of applause to this wonderful array of panelists. When Deji started the other time, beg your pardon, Benga was talking the other time, and he said that there is no such thing as welcome to Lagos. And it is chronicled in a song done, I think, in the 90s by Lagbaja Omobaba Muko Muko. He started the song by saying, when you go to any state, you say, welcome to this place, welcome to this place. But when you come to Lagos, they tell you, this is Lagos. And it only speaks one thing. It's a product of documentation. That song is a document. And there have been a number of songs like that as well. Perhaps an update to that is the version that is now done in Yoruba called Ekonon Kwebi. What's that in English? This is Lagos. Please give a round of applause to those two people. Let me begin this session by asking in no particular order. Let me begin with Professor Ajetunmobi. I find I've taken a bit of a look at parts of the book. And one thing that I find very exciting about it, we have very limited time, so we'll try to make it as fun as possible. One of the things that I find very, very exciting about it is that, one, it's a puzzle book. 2, it is colorful. 3, it targets the generation called Generation Z, aka Gen Z. How important or relevant do you see that to be going forward?
Yeah. Going forward, let me first of all congratulate LASRAP for placing his name on the sand of history, making the work of the teachers simpler, making learning easier. Because those of us who have been teaching history for the past 3 decades or so, we face some challenges. Thank God, with puzzle book like this, students will be able to learn better, faster, and more pleasurable. And to go further, LASRAP should not relent in its efforts. Yes, I have seen that the book has tried to capture major aspects of history of Lagos, but there are still challenges to be done. In that aspect of local history, family history, the interior villages, they have their own history too. And like the reviewer pointed out, that these aspects should be segmented. And just to continue, if government will have to pump money to LASRAP to be able to do this type of work, it is not an easy job. And this is the first of its kind known to me in the history of Nigeria. Another person making an attempt to make digital history is a PhD student who is still currently working on it. So congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please give him a round of applause. Professor Sonny, one of the things that I have found a little, I don't know whether to say, but maybe just iconic, is the fact that after so many years, after quite a while, history is becoming center place. So the question that I want to ask you is, because sometimes how history is expressed depends on the person telling it. That could be one of the barriers to embedding local history into our school systems. What other barriers do you see, and how do you think we can break them? Without barriers, inhibitions, yes.
Thank you very much. I want to thank LASRAP too for giving us this opportunity to discuss history of Lagos specifically. The barriers that history of Lagos generally has faced over time is that people listen to stories rather than history. And we, as historians, we try to get all these stories together, put them to a proper scrutiny, and at the end of the day, come up with plausible accounts that will probably represent our history. We have also seen that the past, maybe the past 20, 30 years, a lot of people, and many of us here seated, live in the local communities where we were born. And from there, we pick up our history from our parents, from our seniors in the community. We saw a lot of things going on around us. But now, that is fading away. And it is in this respect that I feel this Lagos puzzle book will play an important role in correcting some of the misrepresented history of the people, culture, and the generality of Lagosians in general.
Thank you very much. Please give him another round of applause. Professor Lawal, tell us about the value of collaboration between scholars and traditional custodians.
When you talk about collaboration between traditional rulers and institutions, I think that is clear with the way you have seen the book turning out. And for example, it is not always easy to tell the younger generations about tradition. Sometimes there is a misrepresentation on what is tradition, what is culture, the utility of festivals and all of that. But in this book, what you have seen is that there is something that will interest them. There is that aspect of digital footprint to knowledge acquisition and learning integration. There is a way some of these things have been put together, especially when you know that there is something about gaming in it. Whatever it is that you want to do, you will still have to self-teach yourself about it. You still go back and answer questions on what you have read, and at the end of the day, it will serve the process of knowledge internalization. So for me, the book has served its purpose, especially bringing together those hitherto that will not really have interest in some certain themes of history. And now there's something that they have to look up to that will make them pick the book. And the book sometimes become unput-downable for them. As soon as they start, they will always want to continue. That's
Mr. Alibaluga, thank you, sir. But Mr. Alibaluga, still talking about young people, how do we encourage more localized research, that feels relevant to the young people? Because sometimes the mere fact that it is a book is a put-off. So on the one hand. On the other hand, we are talking about preserving history, without which we can't really track a progressive future. So how do you see, how do you think we can encourage more localized research, that feels relevant and usable to young Lagosians?
The first thing to do is for us parents to tell our history to our children. By telling our history to our children, we are drawing them nearer to our culture, to our way of life, to our heritage. That's the first point. And two, collective community value. Every child must know the value within the community. The role of traditional institution. What are the necessary festival, the story behind them? Those are things that will draw their attention to willingly wanting to know more about their own history as children.
Well, thank you so much, sir. But I'm not sure I quite understand what you're talking about, because for parents to teach history to their children, they themselves must know the history. And a number of times I've often joked.
Well, as I was growing up,
okay,
I grew up in Lagos Island. I witnessed the Eyo Festival. I asked my parents questions. What is the purpose of our Eyo Festival? Why are they doing it? And from there, I was able to gather answers to my curiosity, that they are done to celebrate late kings in Lagos. So that is it. And we also have the Geledes. I'll go from Pedro down to Isaleku to go and watch Gelede. And there, I remember one of the chiefs, Akilagun. I will ask him, Papa, why are we doing this? And I get to know all these things from there by asking questions. And to come back to it, once in a while, I gather my children, because I'm from a royalty in Lagos. These are what we do in our family. These are the history behind it. That is the first point of call. And two, once in a while, if I want to ask a question also, I go to the Ojora of Lagos, Baba. What is the history behind these things that we're doing? And he will willingly explain to me. Those are the ways we can gather local history within our various communities. It is very, very important.
Okay, so
environmental factor
So how do you recommend a LASRAB will benefit from that kind of research you're talking about?
Well, probably they should go around, dig into histories, the further, and be able to find their
More
answers
information
to them.
Maybe they should even engage the parents themselves to have a portal.
Of course,
that
yes.
they will be dumping their own information. Please
Yes.
give him a round of applause. Mr. Lushola, this next one is for you. Generally, I perceive that research is not sexy, it's not appealing, it's not generally exciting. So when you tell a young man to go or a young woman to go and do some research, most of the time it's not a very, very appealing process. And history is a product of, history is a product of research. So how do we make that a thing for the young generation? How do you think a LASRAB, for instance, can sustain this culture of research?
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. I really want to thank LASRAB for this exciting initiative. I belong to a community where all we do is to sit on the internet. And our perception of the world we live is how internet is projecting us. So we don't know anything more than what the internet is projecting about us. Now, your question about how can we make research to be more appealing? Research actually starts from curiosity. People trying to understand, digging out what is hidden about the past in a manner that they can use to create a sort of change into the present. So I seen LASRAB being a local agency with the mindset of showcasing Nigeria, especially Lagos, to the world. It's something that is quite exciting. I represent Wikipedia in Nigeria, and we are currently starting a sort of initiative. In the words of our former governor, Governor Raji Fashola, that AI in itself, it's what is going to dictate what the future of the world is going to look like. But then, AI does not stand in isolation. It collates, crowdsources all the resources that we have. But in Nigeria, what do? Resources that we have are being stored away on archive. They are offline. So, if AI is ready, and we are not ready to present to AI what we are going to have an issue. So, the LASRAB initiative in starting to document Lagos and the ability to create an access for this would make a sense for researchers. Okay. Because when they do not even know about anything, it's difficult for them to tend to move forward to understand what that thing is all about.
Absolutely.
So curiosity to start something, to know about what is going to happen next, brings research.
And it sounds to me like we have to practically create that curiosity.
Yes.
All right.
Thank
Well,
you.
let me, Omobat, I may be asking you a rather difficult question, especially because I know you. So there is the place for technology. There's a place for AI, as Ambassador has mentioned. And then there is the place of young people. Now, with AI, it's so easy to create an old document. Just put color grading on it. You know what I'm talking about. How do we insulate history from falsehood?
Thank you very much. A huge congratulations again to LASRAB, distinguished guests, and the royal fathers in the house. I think basically our institution needs to come out to the open. I mean the traditional, the royal institution. LASU has like over 70,000 people contesting for that space. You have the issue of indigenship, students going in there. So, and they tell you to go back home and tell your own history. I tell you a lot of times, when you sit in that panel, you will laugh your head off. They are Lagosians, but they can't really trace the conversation because all they have is the history name, but they can't really tell you how they are. So when you begin to ask for exact Agbole and stuff like that, most of the time is the name they have that saves them. That okay, yeah, Nairawo or Yai Fernandez or some names that we know with Lagos. So the question on ground is, how do we cross that hurdle of ensuring that we tell our own stories? And this is where we began to say that the Royal Institution has a very major role to play to be able to sit down with what we have on ground now and find that middle ground. We need to have town hall meetings to sit down and to say, if you are looking into the future, you have to look back, create something and goes into the future. So we need to begin to ensure that our institution comes out and not just talk about how relevant we are, but to be able to understand that in the next couple of generations, we don't want to lose our heritage and have our children sit in front of panels and they're being disqualified just because they can't track the history. So if you don't want someone else to tell your history, we all need to be sitting down with LASRAB, with the Royal Institution, with governors to sit down and say, we need to resolve this issue. So it's going to start from dialogue, it's going to start from conversation, and we need to hit the ground running to ensure that AI doesn't begin to distort who we are, but it actually compares where we're going. Thank you very much.
Are you asking us to go back to Tales by Moonlight?
Yes, we have to go back to Tales by Moonlight in a very creative way, because media plays a very significant role. And one way you surpass information or you talk to the next generation is to package the truth in a language they can understand. And obviously you can see what is happening with our media, the films we are shooting, how contemporary. You know that when you talk cinemas today, the films that gross the most are the Lishabis, are the Seven Doors and stuff like that. So we have actually mastered how to tell our own story. So I think that media plays a major role and we need to continue that conversation.
I'll ask just one more question, and please permit me, panel, for Professor Ajetumobi to speak to it. There is the challenge of cross-generational gap. So how do you think we can blend that gap beyond just documenting stuff? Because sometimes it's difficult for young people to agree with the older generation.
We are in a changing world. The truth about it is that the elders also should learn about the culture. They use the language, you have to blend. When they speak their own language or tone, so by the time I started telling them using their own slang, then we can now relate. But the moment we distance ourselves from them, then there will be no connection.
Thank you so much, Professor Rashid Ajetumobi. We appreciate your time here. Please give him a round of applause.
Thank you.
Professor Habib Abiodun Soni, Professor Olawale Lawal, and Mr. Jamiu Tolani Adedeji Alibalug. Please keep the applause going. Ambassador Olani Olushola, as well as Omoba Dejirawo. Please give them a big round of applause. Can I ask also to please rise, please? Now, please help me to give them a round of applause.
I would like to invite the DG and crave the indulgence of the Deputy Governor and Honorable Commissioner to join us for a group picture, please. Thank you very much, please. Photographers, let's do this quickly. You know, it's good to have a broadcaster as the mediator, as the moderator, because they are used to keeping to time. If you don't keep to time, you pay airtime. I've been planning how to remove one of his tires as airtime. Photographers, are we good? Thank you very much. Dear panelists, moderator, Mr. Deputy Governor, Honorable Commissioner, and Madam Director General. There's also an app for this book. There's an application for this book, and I would like to invite Mr. Adekunle Ahmed to please anchor the presentation. Mr. Adekunle Ahmed.
Can we please give him a round of applause as he makes his way?
Or Mr. Adekunle Ahmed. Idris Aregbe, please do not leave. Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, the Governor of Lagos State, ably represented by the Deputy Governor of Lagos State, Obafemi Hamzat, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, My name is Adekunle Ahmed, a representative of TechSpare Premium Solutions Limited, a company in the business of software development. Our company recently partnered with LASRAP to produce and to develop a world-class application, first of its kind, called the Lagos History Puzzle Application. This application is more than just an application or digital tool. This application is a cultural bridge that invites Lagosians, both the young people and the old people, to rediscover their roots, students engaging with history playfully, people living in diaspora, reconnecting with their heritage, and the world exploring the heartbeat of Nigeria. This application is work in progress, but we are working as fast as we can to deliver in a couple of weeks. It will be advertised on LASRAP social media. But before I leave, I would like to show us a video, a glimpse that speaks to how the application functions. Please watch. Thank you.
Eko aromisa lẹgbẹlẹgbẹ. Eko aromisa lẹgbẹlẹgbẹ. Eko akete ilé ọgbọ́n. Eko akete ilé ọgbọ́n. Arọ́mọdé dẹ́ kó má má já o. Eku arómísá lẹ́gbẹ́lẹ́gbẹ́. Arọ́mọdé dẹ́ kó má má sá o. Eku arómísá lẹ́gbẹ́lẹ́gbẹ́. Kò má síjú tá o pè kówé. Àfirọ́ kò má síjú tá o pè kówé. Pèkówé o kò má síjú tá o pè. Bébé kó o sì tó. Kò má sí dúdá òpè kòwé rárá kò má sí dúdá òpè kòwé kòwé o kò má sí dúdá òpè.
Thank you very much.
On that note, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank all of you for taking time out to be here with us today. Without you, this would have been just an exercise and not the success that it is. But it's not in my place to do that. Permit me to welcome a woman of ideas, a woman of dreams, a woman of visions, a woman who is remarkably conscious of the duty she has for the preservation of our culture and tradition, the Director General of LASRAB, Ms. Toyin Ogunlana. A round of applause for her. Please keep clapping, keep clapping, keep clapping. The leader of our team, the captain of our ship. Thank you very much for a day like this.
Thank you so much, Benga. You know, we had a bet actually, and he was not able to achieve that. And the bet was for him to make Governor Fashola dance, but he didn't do that. So he has lost that bet. So without wasting too much time, we have spent practically half the day here. To God be the glory. I'll stand on protocols as clearly, carefully established earlier. So it is with immense gratitude and profound appreciation that I stand before you today on behalf of LASRAB to say a heartfelt thank you for joining us at the presentation of the Puzzle Book, a creative and educational initiative aimed at engaging all ages in discovering the rich tapestry of Lagos history, culture, and heritage. First and foremost, our deepest appreciation goes to the Governor of Lagos State for his support of our cultural heritage and documentation of our history. Mr. Governor, ably represented by the Deputy Governor of Lagos State, your commitment to the development of our heritage infrastructure and knowledge dissemination is evident in every step we take at LASRAB. The puzzle book is a direct product of your commitment to knowledge, to culture, to generational learning. We extend special appreciation to the Lagos State Executive Council. They've left, but we still extend our greetings to them. Their continued efforts towards the Themes Plus agenda are commendable. The positive impact of their initiative, of the initiatives of their offices, especially focused on our vibrant youth, is truly inspiring. I must especially thank the Honorable Commissioner for Information and Strategy. He's a leader. I won't say a boss, he's a leader indeed, very supportive. Your guidance and belief in this project have played a key role in bringing it to life. We are grateful once again. To our royal fathers, we are grateful for the time you have spent with us today. As custodians of our tradition and history, your blessings and guidance remain invaluable to the work we do in documenting our history in Lagos. We salute the dedication of the team that worked tirelessly to develop this publication. Some of them are not able to make it today, but I have to mention their names. Bukola Gbede, Akim and Hope of Twin Carrots, I hope you are here. Dr. Rosu, Damola Adebowale of Ashiri Magazine, God bless you. You were amazing. It is your collective brilliance that made it happen today. To the vibrant students of Lagos State, great Lagos students, great, yes, thank you for your presence. You remain a central focus of the government of Lagos State. You are leaders, you are not only leaders of tomorrow, but an essential priority for this day. A fact clearly reflected in the plus of the Themes Plus agenda of the state government. So everyone who have supported the distribution and promotion of the book, I must announce here that some people have made donations and they have instructed that we give a copy each to all the students that are here. So a round of applause to them. So these are the people we are calling upon, and every one of us who have not bought this book, we are calling upon you to make efforts to ensure that this book gets to the hands of those that we created it for. Let's not lose our youth to false narrative. That's the major essence of why we published this book. Because if you don't get to your children first, the devil will get to your children. So we don't want to allow that. We want to ensure that we get to them with this book so that they learn about our culture, they learn about our tradition, they learn about our heritage. And the diplomatic corps, they've left, but they've made commitments to supporting us. We really appreciate them as well. And also, let me use this opportunity to remind us that our culture and heritage, preserving it is a responsibility for each and every one of us. Everyone, parents, teachers, leaders in the society, even our children, we all have a role to play in telling our stories. So let the puzzle book become a tool for dialogue, a tool for learning, a tool for pride, cultural pride. So in closing, I must commend, let us stand up, LASRAB, the team from LASRAB. I must commend the hardworking team at LASRAB for their resilience and support in seeing this project through. Today is a milestone, but it is also a call to do even more. Members of the press, I must also thank you. Thank you for the time you have spent. Thank you for ensuring that you amplify the voices of our people the way it should be amplified. Once again, Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the time spent today. Thank you. As you step out today, ensure that you go out with a copy of your book. So on this note, I would say, like we end it in Lagos State, Ìlọsíwájú ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó.
Àjùmọ̀ṣe gbogbo wa ni.
Thank you and God bless you all.
Madam DG, please do not go. Please come with me. Honorable Commissioner, please, I need you on stage. SA, I need you on stage. The 4 members of staff of LASRA, please come, I need you. Akishiku Oloriayo, please join us. Akishiku, you come to the front. All of you knew, not only you, all of you. Not all LASRA. She's not the only one here. They are. Akishiku, please, Emma. So this is what we're going to do. Are you ready? I'm not the DG of LASRA. You will say who you are. Then we move on, you move on, you move on, you move on, you move on. So we start. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? I'm not the DG of LASRA. I'm the MC for the event.
I am not the DG of LASRA. I'm an activist.
I'm not the DG of LASRA. I'm an activist.
I'm not the DG of LASRA. I'm Akishiku Oloriayo.
I am Dr. Colonel Zeni.
I am not the DG of LASRA. I am the Head Advisor Tourism Art and Culture.
I'm not the DG of LASRA. I'm just considered white police.
Thank you very much for coming. God bless you all. See you another time. God bless you. God bless you.